All right. Hello, hello. Hello. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Education Policy and Innovation Subcommittee. We've got this meeting room until 2 o'clock, so we're going to get started here. Mr. Representative Townsend, would you please open us up in a word of prayer? What number are you, sir? 24. You're live.
Please bow your heads. Dear Father, thank you for this day. Please bless those ones who can't be here and the ones who are here. Please remember we're here for the kids and all citizens of Georgia. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Representative. We're going to start with our favorite tradition on the Education Committee. If you are a teacher, will you please stand up and be recognized? Or an educator, sorry. No educators in the room. Okay. Are you a student in the room? Stand up and be recognized. Do you care about, yeah. St. Patrick's Day is today. I see a lot of green in the audience. Love it. All right. We are going to get started. If you have any final four picks for the chair, let me know. I'm filling out my bracket up here. Just kidding. We are going to get started with Representative or Chair Lady Camp. If you would please make your way to the main stage to present Senate Bill 431. There you go. You are live.
All right, thank you so much. I bring to you today SB 431. I am presenting on behalf of Senator Kirkpatrick, who is chairing another committee. I certainly appreciate you, Chairman Hilton, and also Chairman Irwin for allowing this. So I'm bringing you this bill. We're looking at LC 492812S as in Sam. This is a substitute to the Senate bill that did pass. And this bill does some clarifications. What this bill does explicitly is it defines school days. So right now, we had, of course, the school safety bill that passed 2 years ago. And the bill said 3 days. What we're doing is clarifying what 3 days means. 3 days is school days. And the school days means at least one school administrator is required to report to school and be in person for part duty on that day. And this is on line 43. Senator Kirkpatrick expressed that she did a study committee and there were some challenges sometimes with delays existing for students who are in their foster care program going to school, and there have been more days than 3 before they're enrolled. So for this reason, Senator Kirkpatrick brought this bill. I worked with Representative Persinger, who was the author of the school safety bill, and he did a fantastic job assisting with clarification. And also, when you get a little bit further down in the bill, it also talks about RISA reporting. I believe that's in section 3. To make sure that if we have schools that are non-compliant with enrolling students within 3 school business days, that these schools would be reported to RISA, and ultimately, once a year, the report on line 155 would go to the Department of Education, also Lieutenant Governor, Speaker of the House, and chairpersons of the House Committees on Education and the Senate Education and Youth Committees. And I'm open for any questions any members may have.
Thank you, Chair Lady, and thank you to Representative Persinger for your fantastic work last year and this year on this legislation. What we're doing around school safety and your passion for that is incredibly helpful, and so thank you for bringing this legislation. I will pause and see if any of my committee members have a question or two. We've got one down front here, number 2.
Thank you, Chairman. Chair Lady, thank you for the bill. This is great. I love that we're working hard to make sure that foster care students can be enrolled in school as quickly as possible. You beat me to the punch. I had a question regarding any recourse in the event that the school is not compliant. I know you mentioned reporting to RISA. I imagine that takes some time and doesn't really assist the parent nor the foster student get in school more quickly. Is there any other recourse to accelerate that that review process to ensure that that student is able to enroll as quickly as possible?
Well, the recourse would be on line 127, and that would be contacting the RISA Student Affairs officer to let them know there is a challenge. And it also gives some steps here. Upon recommendation, Department of Education, I mean, you can go all the way up to the Department of Education's.
Got it.
And to appeal if it's not the case, if they're not being met where they need to be on that 3 school business days.
Got it. That's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think I saw number 24 to my right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Chair Lady. Question for you. What's the, and I appreciate the substitute you guys did with Representative Persinger. I thought that was a good one, since we have a system in place now with the new safety bill regarding RISA. If I understand, there was not a backlog, so we should be okay currently. But what did you hear about, so I'm a little surprised about foster kids. I've had a foster child before, and a lot of friends that have, and they're usually pretty tight on the records. Have you seen is there a problem in that industry with DFACs of not having full records when they, I mean, is that a school system problem of DFACs not having it, or is that a DFACs issue, or do you know?
Well, Senator Kirkpatrick expressed to us that there were challenges sometimes with schools seeking records that were HIPAA records rather than school records, and that sometimes bottlenecked the process. Let's see, here, she has here, let's see, on SB 268 on school safety was passed previously requiring record transfers. Some schools are delaying due to waiting for records that are protected by HIPAA and other laws. They're never going to get those records. Georgia's trauma impact rule and case management consultation rule apply to kids that are in foster care. So they need to be assessed immediately when they come in the school system rather than waiting on those records. So sometimes that is the issue, is a school system may want records rather than immediately evaluating the children who are in foster care.
Interesting. Okay, that's something we probably need to address in the future, because it sounds like there's a gap somewhere.
Well, I think by making the 3-day school business days compliance, they will have no choice, which unfortunately I hate to say that, but they'll be required to go ahead and do the evaluations upon enrolling the children to know exactly what services they may need.
In those evaluations, you're talking about special ed evaluations, I assume?
It could be IEP, yes.
Yeah. Is it possible doing it? And I know you're not the author. I'm just not sure. Is it possible doing it that quick? I mean, evaluations, you start the process for evaluations, but.
Well, you can enroll the child in the school system and then proceed with doing the IEP. I mean, you wouldn't delay enrolling them in school simply because they haven't had their evaluations yet. You wouldn't do that with a child who was not in foster care.
And it wouldn't matter what type of schooling they would have, would it? It could be like a virtual or whatever else they need to.
No, and that's one thing that Representative Persinger was great on. We actually included in not college and career academy, but completion schools and in any schools before it was just K-12, because oftentimes children that are in the foster care system haven't had a lot of continuity in their education, so sometimes completion schools are a great fit for them to finish and graduate. So we included that as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we have another question. So it'll be Representative Wilkerson, number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lines 155 through 159 require an annual report. I think I've kind of brought up this before. Are we aware of how many reports are going to committee chairs at this point? Because I know throughout history, since I've been here, we add reports each year. Do we know how many reports are going out?
No, but that would be an excellent bill to have, that someone statistically has to keep up with a spreadsheet and give it to all of us members. I agree with you, Representative Wilkerson.
Well, with that said, would you be open to, at least on this bill, saying that it not only goes to the chairman of the committees, but also to the members of the committee? Because again, there are a lot of good information that gets delivered to our chairs that we never see because we're just not the chairs. And when you have chair people that have 7 committees, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's hard for them to go through all those. I think having more eyes on it might be appropriate. So I would love to see us do that.
You know, honestly, I think that's a great idea. I haven't seen any bills that explicitly said it went to committee members. That could be a wonderful, wonderful measure in a bill in and of itself, that all of these committees, actually, the information's dispersed to the members of the committee.
I would love to do that. However, as you know, Democrats don't get to pass bills very often, so I would would love to tag on to your bill, because I do believe we have 11 bills coming through this committee from the Senate, and maybe one is a Democrat. So, you know, with that said, if you don't mind me jumping on somebody's bill, I'd be happy to. But other than that, I would prefer to put it in here. But just as we move forward.
I
Thank
do
you.
not object.
Well, that was well done. Chairman Kemp.
Thank you.
All right, Representative Glaze, number 12.
So I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time, but it sounds like with my colleague, there might be a friendly amendment on the floor, because I want to propose a friendly amendment to this bill.
Okay, so not the appropriate time yet, but it will be shortly, and we'll keep that in mind. Any other comments from the committee? Okay, we have a couple of speakers here. So I'd like to call up, I believe it's Reginald Holloway, and then Devin Rudy Johnson will be on deck.
I'm Devin Rudy Johnson, and I'm actually going to go first if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, that'll be fine.
Hi, my name is Devin Rudy Johnson. I work with Georgia Empowerment, and we believe that anytime there are bills being made about young people in foster care, that their voice and lived experience should be involved. We're really grateful to Representative Camp and Senator Kirkpatrick for this bill. We spoke at the Senate Study Committee over the summer, and this was something that came out of it. And also in my professional experience, within the last 2 years, I had one young person who it took a month and a half to get her enrolled in school. And as we know, if you miss 11 to 14 days in grades 8 through 10, you have a 25% less chance of graduating. So that's huge. It took a month and a half. And so that was a recent experience I had. As far as the trauma impact rule, I did want to clear something up on that. It's not an IEP. It's as soon as they are enrolled, the school counselor, DFACS, they all get together and are supposed to have a meeting to go over, hey, what are some concerns that you might have? What are some things that we know work? And how can we support this student? So it's not necessarily a student that's been diagnosed with a disability. It's any student that is in foster care. And that is, I can get you the OCGA number if you want it, but they are required to do that. And again, in my professional experience, there were many times where I was begging for that to be done soon. But all of that to say, we very much support this bill. We're really excited about it and really grateful that the senator and representative both have listened to those with lived experience. And with that, I would love to introduce Reginald, who also participated in this subcommittee. And I'm available for any questions as well.
Okay, thank you. And remember, we need to be out of here by 2 o'clock with the other bills, so roll with it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Reginald Holloway, and I'm here alongside Georgia Empowerment. I am also a former foster youth with close to 17 years of lived experience within the state of Georgia. It is an honor to be here today and see the forward movement regarding SB 431. I am very thankful for the opportunity to have been a part of the Senate Study Committee last summer regarding education rights for youth in foster care. At Georgia Empowerment, we have a mission statement that says, "Nothing about us without us." And when we say that statement, it is with the spirit of partnership as we carry the belief that change for youth with lived experience is needed with youth with lived experience in the room. So within that, I want to thank the Senator Kay Kirkpatrick, along with the rest of the chair committee, for allowing lived experience experts to not only be acknowledged in the room, but for our voices to be recognized and a part of legislation. As SB 431 is being discussed today, I want to express gratitude for the work and space that has been created to further change in the foster care system. Thank you. I am also open for any questions.
All right, thank you. I don't see any questions. Thank y'all for coming in to speak. And Chairman Count, thank you for bringing this bill with Chairman Kirkpatrick. We appreciate that. Okay, at this point, we have a question. Okay. A second? Okay. And now, discussion on the motion.
So I'd like to bring a friendly amendment to the floor, and I don't know, I think I can get copies to everybody, but this amendment is in reference to the IPSI grant. The IPSI grant is a grant that allows students with intellectual disabilities an opportunity to go to college and get certification or two-year degree. And right now, it sunsets in 2028. And so I'd like to amend that we remove the sunset clause and expand its reach into the private colleges and universities. And that funding structure would stay under Georgia Student Finance. And what it would do is just allow the HOPE grant to travel to private institutions. And I'll tell you, there's just a few private institutions now that are doing the IPSI grant, and that is Berry College in Rome. It's one of our private institutions, as well as, of course, our USG is actually involved in those, providing the program IPSI grant. So if this is the appropriate time, I'd like to.
Okay, so I want to ask for help from Ledge Council. What number are you, 13?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Is this,
That would be, we certainly can entertain an amendment. I am familiar with language that accomplishes those goals. That would be a pretty substantial rewrite of this bill that may be better suited to a substitute going into full committee. If you wanted to amend this bill at this time, it would take me some time to do that, to give you something to vote on. Alternatively, well, apparently Representative Glaze has an amendment drafted, so this is helpful. Okay. I'm not sure if this has been circulated. I have not seen it.
no, I don't believe it has. So, Chairman Count, is this a friendly amendment?
It is a friendly amendment. I have not seen the language. I know Senator Kirkpatrick contacted me, and she is in favor of this measure.
Okay, so Ledge,
Allow me a moment, I'll get it together.
that'll be great.
And I'm not objectionable to having a substitute in full committee if that's something that committee would entertain.
So I'm thinking for time purposes, maybe we go ahead and move this forward, and in between now and full committee, let's get the substitute created, if that is okay with yourself as well as you, Representative Glaze. You comfortable with us doing this?
I am comfortable if my colleagues say this is the right way to move.
Yeah, I think with sake of time, I think that may be a better solution if we can do that. So you've put an amendment on the request for amendment on the table.
Yes.
Would you like to withdraw that?
We'll withdraw if we're going to put this over in the larger committee for add-on.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, you can work with Chair Lady Count.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chair Lady Camp. We appreciate your support.
Okay, so now we're ready for a vote for this bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, bill passes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everyone's consideration.
Yep. Now I'd like for my colleague, for a fellow Forsythian, Representative, excuse me, Senator Sean Still, if you will, come up. And that would be SB 369, I believe. Floor is yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is fun. So we are looking at a substitute to Senate Bill 369, which was just the dropout recovery charter school bill, and now I think we can affectionately refer to this as the USS Charter Schools bill, because it's a combination of quite a few that y'all have seen and worked through committee, and I'm happy to walk y'all through that real quick. So
Read the LC number for us too, to make sure
the
we're all
LC that I have is 492804S.
correct. Everybody have that? Okay.
On that one?
Yes,
Okay.
we're good. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
if you go back and look at the original 369, it was just on the dropout recovery portion. So we've added quite a bit to it, but I hope everybody is amenable to the increases. So quickly, just walking through it, Section 1 is from the original 369, talks about the dropout prevention and intervention programs that we're doing. Page 2 gets into the Office of Student Achievement and the reporting on that. Jumping to Section 2, this is getting into Representative Flournoy's bill. This is his bill that was amended by Ledge Council directly into this, so that kids that are participating in charter schools can also do extracurricular activities, school-sponsored sports, as they wish to do so. So for grades 6 through 12. And this was a very friendly addition to it. We knew that it checked all the boxes and was working on our joint mission to ensure that we are doing right by kids that are trying to be able to get the full experience out of being in charter school. Page 6 of the bill just says when the eligibility occurs and what's going to be required from a mechanical standpoint. And that continues on to page 7. Section 3, this is a bill that was brought in from Chairman Todd Jones. So this is on school technology and replacement of such. You've seen this bill before, and this is brought over in its entirety as well. Section 4 gets back to the original language of the bill, Senate Bill 369, on dropout recovery. Section 5 continues on with just the rules and regs with that. Section 6 is just cleaning up from numerical to letter tracking, ABC, etc. Going back through that on page 12 and just continuing on the monitoring, evaluating, reporting aspect. And to be clear, all this is done with the support of the Charter School Commission and working very closely with our amazing and talented Michael Walker, who I don't know how the man does it, but he was able to stitch this thing together like a beautiful quilt. Page 13 just talks about the effective date on this. And then as it relates to charter schools that are trying to receive grants on any sort of construction that they want to take out those loans and how that's going to be structured, what the incentive grants will not exceed $2.25 million in any fiscal year. So just tracking that. Section 8 just has one addition on line 340. So organized and operated as a nonprofit corporation or company under the laws. And then line 348, 349, strike through State Board of Education and just saying State Board. I think you can see the rest of the cleanup on page 15 of the bill. When we get to section 10, it just is adding language on governing board. Section 11 of the bill, talking about the contract and the setup of the charter school. And finally, section 12, it just says that if a charter school does not continue to operate, that they are maintaining records for a period of, instead of 1 year, just reducing that down to 180 days. That is our very simple bill, Chairman. Happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, it's very simple. I'm going to ask just a quick question on page 14, where you line 348 and 349, we crossed out State Board of Education, went to State Board. And I'm reading through this quickly. Was State Board defined in here somewhere?
That's just covered in section 20-2-2069 by the Office of Charter Schools.
So right above it's where that definition lies?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, open for any questions from the committee. Okay, I think number 2 was first. You hit it. You're up,
I
Representative.
appreciate it, Chairman.
Yes.
Hey, Senator.
Hi.
Thank you for the bill. I think we all can agree that students who are at risk of dropping out or who are falling behind academically require more personalized support, and so supportive of that intent. My only question is around how would the accountability measures differ between these specialized dropout prevention schools and, let's say, a traditional school?
It's all under the same umbrella. So the accountability is still there. I think what we're trying to do, and the purpose of the Dropout Recovery School, we had been working with the pilot in South Fulton, and it's been very successful. Kids that maybe had to work a full-time job, take care of an ailing parent, take care of a small child of their own, and couldn't get across the finish line.
Yeah.
This was set up, and so this is just creating the parameters to be able to expand that and to have additional charters to be focused on that.
Yep.
So it's still falling under the same commission.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Okay, number 24, I believe that's Representative
For an
Townsend.
extensive bill, I like it at the appropriate time.
Okay. I still have more discussion. So number 1,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator. Quick question. This is a number of bills, and they all look good. Is there anything in here that some people may have had a problem with? I mean, I think they were all pretty unanimous. coming
Everything was
through.
unanimous that was brought to me. And
Okay,
several of
thank
these
you.
bills passed out from this committee
Yep.
on the House side. So there was one Senate bill, and there's a whole bunch of House bills.
And
So
all the House bills were good bills.
they were all non-controversial from your
Awesome.
side.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
okay, 28,
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
thank you. And thank you, and great job, Senator, and thank you for all the spirit of cooperation with all these other good measures. There was one measure that I don't think in the editing of adding all these other measures was added, and Ledge Council may be familiar with this. And it was taking, in your original bill, the portion about the dropout recovery, locally approved charter schools. I had anticipated a section that would also add to this, that in the cases where a local school system has a dropout recovery school for credit recovery, same as a charter school, but that it would also direct the State Board of Education to come up with performance standards in those cases so that they're not measured against your traditional schools as well. And so I just wanted to see if you would be amenable to adding that in full committee.
Of course.
Okay. And we could do a substitute with the Chairman Irwin's permission but it doesn't change anything in the bill that you have just presented. It just adds a section because we do have, for example, in my school system, I'm sure there are many others, where they don't call it a charter school, but it is a dropout recovery school run by the school system, and they still have that mismatch of standards for themselves because they're dealing with a lot of students that probably not going to perform as well as the system average.
Potentially. Is the language you're looking for, though, is it not covered in lines 249 through
Maybe it
252?
is. I was looking quickly into 249 through, let's see here.
And then continuing on to page 11.
It may, here, let's see here. So these are charter petitions. What I'm referring to would not be a charter petition or a charter school. It would be just a dropout recovery. Same type program, just not a charter school.
Got it. Okay, just making sure.
But also run by a local board of education.
Sure. Happy to work with you on that,
Okay,
whatever we
thank
need to
you.
do.
Okay. Thank you, Pro Tem. Okay, Representative Glazen, number 12. She waves. Okay, we have two speakers to this. Believe it's Shelley, forgive me, is it Ledger? Ledger? And then Donovan, I can't read this. I'm head or hood, I can't. Oh, it's the, you're waving, okay. Okay. Thank you, Shelley, for being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shelley Ledger, and I am the principal at Skyview High School in Fulton County. Before I speak about the students that we serve, I did want to give a story about a particular graduate. His name is Naaman Robinson. Like many of our students, he came to Skyview carrying a lot of challenges and barriers existing beyond the normal classroom. His journey was marked with hardship, responsibilities, setbacks that may have derailed him from a traditional, being successful at a traditional school setting. With persistency and support, and also opportunity, Naaman graduated from Skyview in 2024, and he is now extremely successful at Atlanta Tech, where he is pursuing his career here in welding. Naaman's story reflects the heart of Skyview's mission. Our students are capable, they're resilient, and they're also full of potential. So what they often need is not lower expectation, but a different model that will give them the right support in a school that is willing to meet them where they are. So with that, I just want to let you guys know, when students come to Skyview, they are nearly behind grade level academically. Upon enrollment, our average students are reading at about a third grade level. Their average GPA on entry is about a 1.6, and most of them are significantly behind on credits. So the challenge is that Georgia currently evaluates schools like Skyview using the same accountability measures that are designed for traditional high schools. So those metrics assume that students start on track, they stay continuously enrolled, and they graduate on a 4-year timeline. Unfortunately, that's not the students that we serve. As a result, even when Skyview does meet the expectations and exceeds its mission, we improve student outcomes, and we also graduate students who were previously disengaged from previous traditional settings. We still risk receiving failing accountability measures. That misalignment has real consequences, such as affecting public perception. It complicates renewal decisions for us, and it also creates instability for schools serving at the highest needs of students in Fulton County. In fact, despite meeting goals tied to student recovery and graduation, Skyview has still yet received a full 5-year renewal for Fulton County, largely because our current metrics do not reflect the work that we're actually doing. So SB 369 actually matters because it finally recognized that completion and dropout recovery schools are different by design and not deficient by performance. This bill does not lower the standards. It allows for standards that are actually measured, such as student growth, our persistency, credit recovery, and also completion. It gives authorizers the ability to hold us accountable for outcomes we can responsibly influence, and that matters to our students. This is not about avoiding accountability. It's about meaningful accountability. Schools like Skyview exist because traditional settings are unable to meet the needs of many of the students. And this bill would actually ensure that schools are set up to serve these students that are measured fairly, transparently, and also align within their mission. So I really urge to support this bill so accountability reflects outcomes and not assumptions. So thank you so much for hearing about Skyview and the students that we serve, and I'm open to answer any questions if you have any.
Representative, you have a question for her?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. You're in our district in South Fulton, and you're meeting a need for a lot of students. Mm-hmm. Can you share your graduation rate over the last 4 years, mm-hmm. and then tell us how many students you start with, and then your graduation rate? And also, then I have just a second question, if you would share that.
No problem. So I started out in the year of 2021, school year 21-22, and we graduated 43 students that year. The second year, we graduated 73. We went up to 90, and last year we graduated 143. Of that 143, about 40% of those students were on-time graduates, which were 4-year on-cohort students.
And with that said, graduation rate is really continuing to go upward, and more of our students are able to go into jobs and the military because now they have a high school diploma, and we really thank you guys for the work that you're doing in the South Fulton region.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mason Rainey, you here? Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'm Mason Rainey with the Technology Association of Georgia, or TAG. TAG's a membership trade association representing over 1,000 tech companies across the state. And on behalf of our members, we want to thank the sponsor for bringing this bill and for the inclusion of Section 3 in the bill. This was originally House Bill 1206 from Chairman Todd Jones. This piece had to do with school technology purchases. We just wanted to express our support for that piece of the bill, as well as say that this is supported by the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, as well as TechNet, the National Trade Association of Technology Companies. And we appreciate your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so now is the appropriate time for the will of the committee. Okay, so we got a first, a second. Any discussion? I know we have Pro Tem's request with you, which I know y'all worked that out. Okay, so all in favor? Oh, you have a question, comment? Okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It's passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Chairman Hickman, SB 515. Thank you for being here, Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we have, it looks like one speaker on this, so.
Thank you.
Floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members, for allowing us to be here today. This bill is Senate Bill 515, LC 492750, S as in Sam. This is really a continuation with some changes of a bill that y'all passed called House Bill 32 several years ago. Everybody in this room knows the passion that General Assembly has had over the last several years concerning our students not reading on grade level. Well, we will continue to solve that problem. As Chairman Irwin has said so many times, we will not quit working until every child in Georgia reads on grade level. We actually had a study committee that was done by Dr. Jody Barrow last year, Senate Resolution 237, where he got USG in the room, TCSG, Department of Education, State Board of Education, Student Finance, and others, and they did an extensive report that was very, very good, and we shared it with many House members, and Chairman Irwin was in the meeting where Dr. Barrow shared it with us. And we asked them to break down the silos because we needed to know why people were not going into education, and we needed to know why people were getting out of education. Several recommendations many recommendations came out of that committee, and Dr. Barrow shared with us the other day that in the House and the Senate, so far, we've had over 22 or 23 bills that have been created as a result of that study committee. One of those bills is this bill that I want to talk to y'all about called the Teacher Tax Credit Bill. Very significant. We got, every year they do a study of the number of vacancies in Georgia. In 2025, there was 5,358 vacancies in Georgia for degreed teachers. Now, you know, we may think that that's just centralized in one location, but it's all over the state of Georgia. It goes anywhere from 0 in some places to 1,051 in Fulton County. 1,051 vacancies for teachers in Fulton County. In my part of the world, Evans County, they started off in elementary school this year, K through 5, with 6 vacancies, and as of about 3 weeks ago, they still had 2 vacancies in K through 5. So I called Dr. Anderson, the superintendent. I said, tell me what you mean by a vacancy. He said, we do not have a degreed teacher in the classroom. I said, so you got people in the classroom not with degrees in? No, sir, we don't have a degreed teacher in the classroom. So those children are already behind, Mr. Chairman, by when they move to the next grade, not being with a degreed teacher. So I love this quote, but it's actually a quote that came from Dr. Barrow, And it said, educators are the only workforce whose performance determines the quality and size of all future workforces. And Georgia cannot deliver on its commitment to students without a strong, stable educational workforce. The current teacher tax credit bill that we're under, as I mentioned earlier, House Bill 32, expired December 31 of this year. Senate Bill 515 has modified that bill with no change in dollars, and I'll tell you how we modified it. The current tax bill is a $3,000 tax credit per 1,000 educators, which equates to $3 million. When we talked to Austin Gibbons with the Department of Revenue, he told us that in 2022, the average tax credit that was used was $2,294, not $3,000. In 23, the average tax credit that was used was $2,486, not $3,000. In 2024, the average tax credit was $2,225, not $3,000. So, Mr. Chairman, what we did, we said let's drop the tax credit from $3,000 down to $2,500, and let's extend the number of people that qualify for the credit. So we dropped it down to $2,500, and we moved the limit from $1,000 up to $1,200. So we still got the same $3 million involved that we had that y'all had on House Bill 32. And then in the bill on line 70 to 73, we have the wording: State Board of Education shall establish a teacher recruitment and retention program. The purpose of such program shall be to encourage both new and experienced teachers to seek employment at qualifying public schools. In this bill, we're identifying the bottom 25%. We talk about so many times the bottom 25%, but that's what this bill is targeting, the bottom 25%. And we're leaving it up to the Department of Education to identify the 100 schools in the bottom 25% that will qualify. Now, let me tell you the classes that the teacher would go into that would qualify. It's not all classes, so it would be students in the areas, support of students in the areas of mathematics, special education. It seems like everywhere we turn, it seems like there are more people. We need more teachers in special education because those people obviously have a big heart for what they're doing. Career, technical, and agricultural education, reading, writing, or English language arts, provided, however, that such teachers in the areas of reading, writing, or English language arts shall hold a current dyslexia or reading endorsement approved by Professional Standards Commission. Mr. Chairman and committee members, this is a recruitment tool to these schools that qualify for these teachers, not a retention tool. And a vote for this bill is really a vote for the students. This bill becomes effective January 1, 27. The current bill we got goes out December 31 and 26. There was some concern in the Senate about some overlapping because it is a 5-year credit and some overlapping. So we actually put some specific wording in the bill on lines 207 through 210 that says this: in no event shall the total amount of tax credits under the code section exceed $3 million in any fiscal year. In the event that such amount is not sufficient to pay the full tax credit to each eligible recipient, the tax credit for each eligible recipient shall be reduced on a pro rata basis. So we actually cleaned that up some. It is a 5-year tax credit. Expires December 31, 2031. And Mr. Chairman, we're just taking a great tax credit bill that y'all provided in the House, and we extending it and modifying it some and making it more accessible.
Okay. Thank you,
Yes, sir,
Chairman.
thank you.
Okay, so number 23, I believe that's.
Thank you, Chairman, for your work on this.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, we've worked together over the summer and talked about the importance of teacher retention and recruitment, and I appreciate your work on that. Just a quick question. This is just a statistic that you may know, and I know Dr. Barrow would certainly know. But the number of participating teachers were increasing in 1,000 to 1,200. Do we know how many currently have applied? Have there been teachers turned away because we met that limit that was there before?
No, ma'am, I've got that, and it's really kind of disheartening. It's really disheartening the people that have not applied, and that's why we put some wording in the bill. I don't have those notes. We put some wording in the bill for State Department of Education shall establish a teacher recruitment retention program, because I think in 24, 25, it was only like 500 or 600 people that are qualified, so it was less than half of the 1,000 available. So I don't know whether they didn't apply for it because there was not more education done on it, or what happened, but that's part of the reason we dropped it too.
So I would guess that, one of your goals in this would be, while we're looking for teachers in these bottom 25% of schools, that the access to this information, this incentive be a little bit more, I guess, available and
Yes, ma'am.
in public knowledge. Well, thank you for your work. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would think that's very true, I really believe there's so much information out there for our teachers that as we all know in this room, they're really overwhelmed. So, but these type of things need to be done probably in the orientation and up front, and hopefully it will attract some teachers from other areas to Evans County. Yeah, thank you.
Representative Glaze.
Chairman Hickman, thank you so much for
Yes,
bringing
ma'am.
the bill. Is it not true that we were a part of the PSC panel this summer in Peachtree City? We heard from teachers and principals that we have to get the numbers up, and we got to get the numbers down in the classroom and teachers, the number of teachers up around the state. And is this not a bill that came out of their interest in recruitment and supporting teachers while they were going through the training?
Yes, ma'am, you're exactly right. That was very well said. Thank you for saying that.
27, I think. Is that you, Chairman Irwin?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Uh-oh.
First of all, Chairman, thank you for this bill. We appreciate this. And looking at the retention and recruitment of our teachers, I see the director of PSC behind you there, and he has done a yeoman's work at bringing to light some opportunities for us like this, I think. What comes up with Vice Chair mentioned there some is the awareness of this. Right. We hope we see this in full committee, and then I'd like you to think, if you would, Chairman, about the awareness that we could of the teachers that are training today, taking advantage of this program. If we can make this these changes into law for you. So often we get out of school and we go straight into teaching, and we don't know what programs are out there or what opportunities are there. So I don't know how to answer that I'm asking you to, but would appreciate it if you look at that, and thank you for this bill.
I'll be happy to meet with Dr. Barrow and talk about that. And I'll tell you again, Dr. Barrow has been so supportive of Chairman Irwin and our work on this every time, and not only him, a lot of people. And it's been exciting to work with these type of people that really are engaged in education and want people to listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Pro Tem Jones, number 28.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Hickman, for
Yes,
bringing this. Wonder if the State Board of Education, since they have created a list of the bottom 25% schools, if they could send this information out to superintendents to then deliver to their newly hired teachers, to those who would qualify for this, since they have access and a relationship with every school system.
I can speak to that. I am Carrie Pritchard with the Georgia Department of Education. I actually implement this program for the department, and one of the main reasons we are asking for some of these some of the changes is to alleviate and make it a little bit easier for teachers to participate. So removing some of the guardrails that were in place. Last year we started Teaching the Peach, which is a website for teachers and provides a lot of information for recruitment and retention. We'll be sharing application and information there. I know we can partner with PSC as well to make sure that the information is getting out there. And every year I send out an email to all of the HR directors throughout the state to let them know about the program. But like I said, the challenge was with some of the guide rails, it was only about 12 districts that qualified, because it was mainly based on rural designation versus the lowest 25%. So looking through and seeing the emails that I was getting, the questions that I was getting to be able to participate in the program, we felt it was better to open it to the lowest 25% instead of rural being the top piece. But the rural piece does come in for the teachers where they will get priority in this bill. Jody, do you want to see?
Okay, if you can quickly, we're running out of time, so go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. I'll be real quick. First of all, I appreciate Senator Hickman and Chairman Irwin tossing my name out there, but it's really not me. It's a lot of other people, very smart people, who participated in this process, and we appreciated the opportunity to work. Pro Tem, I think there are several things that we can do to maybe educate our people. Certainly the DOE would be a touch point for those lower 25% schools, but I think we could also reach out to our education preparation providers in the colleges and universities and make sure they understand the merits of this bill too, so that they can teach and talk to our pre-service teachers prior to them graduating and moving into the classroom. So there are a couple of things I think that we can do to help out with that.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have one speaker on this, which is Margaret Ciccarelli.
Thanks very much. Quickly, I'm Margaret Ciccarelli from Page, representing about 94,000 educators statewide. We appreciate this legislation, strongly support it, and hope you will move it to full committee. Educators who work at some of the lowest performing schools have teacher turnover at higher rates than other schools. We hope this will serve not only as a recruitment, but as a retention in the first few years of their service at these schools, a tool that these schools can use, particularly in rural Georgia. And to the Pro Tem's suggestion, we will also do our part at Page to promote this so that educators statewide and our networks are aware of it, and so that their hiring administrators are aware of it and can use it during the interview and recruitment process. We hope you'll move it forward and appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Okay, so Representative Townsend, did you have a question for her?
No, it's just made a motion to approve.
Oh, okay, so now go ahead.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Have a second? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, bill passes.
Thank you. Can I just say one quick thing?
Yes, sir.
Chairman Irwin said in a talk the other day that I think you said Mississippi or Alabama, as their literacy rates have gone up, the absenteeism has gone down. So we got to have teachers in classrooms. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for your support.
Thank you. All right, this meeting's adjourned. If y'all can make your way out, we got another committee coming right in. Thank you.